Let's pop you over to the Western Cape very quickly. The Treasurer General of the ANC giving a media briefing as the party's Progressive Business Forum prepares to host a presidential golf day at Rondebosch. Let's take a listen.
We must work more together as leaders across political parties, across sectors, to put South Africa at a higher level because we have left a lot of people behind. Our democracy has made progress but has left lots of people behind. So we must all work together to inspire South Africans. The second issue is that this is the 70th anniversary of the Freedom Charter that also declared that the wealth of the country must be shared by all who live in it and who work it, including the land and other issues. And the focus should be on how we put our heads together, those that are ahead economically, to lift as they rise. The last issue is about South Africa hosting the G20, presiding of the G20. The theme: solidarity, equality, sustainable development. It can only be achieved if we work together. So we're grateful that this golf event is sold out. And I must say that whereas in the past 2 years the prices were higher and businesses could pay higher, this time more were interested, but many are saying the economy is not as easy as before, but we're really grateful that we can dialogue. This is an opportunity to network and dialogue, and yes, we want and we call on business to fund democracy because it is our common democracy. But let them fund to the extent that they can. But we are very grateful, and we wish them well with the president on the golf course.
Gwen Ramokgopa from ENCA. You need each and every cent you can get. You are from a grueling election campaign where you did not do well. 2026 is coming. Are your finances in good order? Are they in a healthy state?
We always raise funds for a specific event and a specific project. That's how the ANC has always operated. And we remain hopeful, and the public has not disappointed us in terms of funding. And we are also looking at self-funding. A lot of NEC members have also contributed. Ourselves have contributed as members of the ANC in general, and we're grateful. That's what we were mandated to do. We'll use what we have optimally to serve South Africans. We've gone to Robben Island yesterday as part of pilgrimage and reflections, and we know that the ANC was formed to serve South Africans. The rest are frills, and that's what we're focusing on. With whatever we have, we will serve South Africa.
How much have you raised thus far with this particular golf day? If you can give us that.
I have not as yet tallied.
TG, Junior Kumalo from Newsroom Africa. I know you can't give us the figures of how much the ANC hosting such festivities like the January 8th how much the ANC might spend on that. But could you give us maybe the figures from last year? Last year when the ANC was in Mpumalanga, how much in total did it spend in such festivities? And also, can you just give us some clarity on the African Bank? We see that it's one of the sponsors here. What sort of sponsorship is it giving to the ANC? And also, are you not worried that because it is also partly owned by the Reserve Bank, with the shares that are owned by the Reserve Bank, that some of the political parties would be complaining on why it's giving money only to the ANC if it is giving money to the ANC? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that question. First and foremost, I will have to go to my books to tell you how much we could have raised, but what we do, how we do it. Others provide funding in kind. I know there's a businessman from Mpumalanga who also funded buses in kind, and the province itself also put in even now. Yesterday I went to Guguletu for 2 events, Mam Dora Tamani and Dwanambi, those 2 women. The Women's League funded itself. So I'll give you a figure, and then you pick up that someone else funded elsewhere, and then you'll argue with me. So the important thing is that these events are successful because of own contribution and contribution for those that understand that democracy should be funded. I also want to appreciate that last year we mobilized for the multi-party fund managed by the IEC for businesses to fund that multi-party fund if they don't want to fund directly. And many businesses did fund the multi-party fund where all political parties benefited, and maybe that deals with your issue as well. We encourage Business South Africa to fund political parties that are doing work to serve South Africans. And that's why we also mobilize that they fund the multi-party fund in the IEC. I think that's basically my answers. In terms of the African Bank invited us to their event where they were supporting a good story about progress, about transformation in South Africa. Paul, who owns the farm, and the brewer are children of farm workers who now are farm owners. It's a beautiful story that we want to appreciate African Bank funding them, and we also appreciate that African Bank did invite us as well because Paul is one of those black businesses in particular that we're helping to access other markets. He's already exporting to a few markets. We are, as the Progressive Business Forum, assisting him to access other markets. Those businesses that come and play, not all of them are members of the ANC, but we are here to serve South Africans. Thank you.
TG, one more from Ms. Ipamata
Yes.
from ENCA. In the beginning of the Political Party Funding Act, some funders were reluctant to fund political parties. What is your assessment of late? Do you think funders are coming up now? Are they confident to associate and fund political parties? What is your view?
The funders, business is still dealing with the matter, but they're still hesitant because of a number of laws that are not necessarily clear to them. And others, and I'm very happy that one of actually my deputy chair of the ANC Finance Committee, Dr. Gloria Sarobe, is very good in articulating this, that it is important that a political exposure fund issue, the political exposure fund issue should be understood. We must declare and disclose political funding. That's important because we don't want undertables, we don't want corruption, we don't want brown envelopes. We must declare and disclose, and it is okay to do so. And those who declare and disclose should also not be harassed. For instance, now many companies are saying, we fund you, the next thing our names will be all over the media. It hurts our brand. So I think also Media South Africa should rather, whoever, it doesn't matter whether they fund any other party, you must also applaud those who fund openly and transparently. And let's haunt those who fund under table because we don't know what their intentions are. But those who openly fund democracy, because we need democracy to be managed. We don't want instability. And that's why we went the route of GNU. Stability for South Africa is stability for greater nation building, greater equality and equity, and better sustainable development and a shared prosperity. This country is rich, Africa is rich, and we need to be able to work together to lift others, those who are ahead. Thank you very much, Pamandla. Thank you, colleagues.
Have you polished your golf skills?
That was the Treasurer General of the ANC, Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa. They essentially saying that the African National Congress has been doing well in fundraising and that they are good Samaritans from the January 8 statement last year in Mpumalanga and ultimately here who have given to the African National Congress out of their own volition and also going to the Presidential Funding Act and saying that some businesses are still pretty much reluctant on funding political parties. Tomorrow evening they will host a presidential gala dinner which will be addressed by the president of the ANC. He will be teeing off here. They are saying this particular event has been sold out. They did drop the prices a little bit because of the nature of the South African economy not currently being conducive.
Samkele Masego, thanks very much indeed. We'll get a sense of their golfing skills, I imagine, later on as we continue engaging these different ANC leaders about ways in which they're going to chart a way forward for the year ahead, at least insofar as the finances are concerned.